Hello everybody, Mark, aka The Nerdy Punk, back again today for a new video. Hope you all are doing really well. Today I'm coming to you live from Indianapolis, Indiana. Well, actually not live, but anyway. I went ahead and made a day trip today out to Indianapolis, Indiana, and hit up 3 Barnes & Nobles here in town. There's actually 5 in the Indianapolis area, but 3 was plenty, as you're going to see. I picked up a total, I think, of like 14 or 15 titles, so I went a little crazy with the Criterion sale, but I hope you enjoy checking out my pickups and seeing what I was able to get today. If you guys are interested at all in Criterion, the sale runs through August 2nd through Barnes & Noble and maybe Amazon. Amazon is price matching almost all of these. So through August 2nd, you can get half price on all Criterion releases, everything from the big box sets to the standard releases. So if you're at all interested in Criterion, now is the time to buy. I hope you guys enjoy the pickups portion of this video, and I will check in with you later. Let's hit our first Barnes & Noble location. Okay, we are at location number 1. So let's head in and see if we can find some Criterions. Okay, location number 1 was a success. Let me show you real quick what I picked up from this first Barnes & Noble. Again, we're going to have more to go to as we continue today. So, in total, I paid $119 for everything I picked up here, which, again, considering what it is, you know, Criterions, as well as one new release book, it's a pretty good deal. So let me actually show you the book first. I realized that this came out yesterday, and I really wanted to pick it up. I'm not a huge reader, but I do enjoy to read on occasion, and so I really wanted to pick this one up. This is Carry On, Reflections for a New Generation by John Lewis. Now, for those of you who don't know John Lewis was a civil rights hero. He's one of my personal heroes, and he passed away last year from cancer. One of the coolest things about him, he was one of the leaders of the march in Selma, Alabama for voting rights in 1965. He had his skull crushed during that march, and he went from not being able to vote in Georgia, you know, when he was young, to becoming the longest serving African American representative, I believe, in the entire history of the U.S. Congress. So he was a badass in every sense of the word, and really excited to read this. It's a very short book. It's only a couple hundred pages, so it should be easy to get through for me, considering I'm not a great reader, but I really wanted to pick this up. This was $22, which, you know, hardcover book, new release, not that bad of a deal. And it's Barnes & Noble. You gotta buy a book, right? First thing that I picked up from the Criterion collection, we have Brazil, my first Terry Gilliam movie, a sci-fi classic. I need to watch this, and the Criterion is the definitive set to get for this, so went ahead and picked up Brazil. This one's a little more expensive. This is retails for $50, so I got it for $25. I think it's because there's tons of special features on here. So there's two discs with this release, and it's a long movie to start with. So I guess that's the reason why it's retails for $50. But this is one of the first releases from the Criterion collection, so happy to have that. If you'll notice from my clips, they really didn't have a big movie section. And their movie section was just out there amongst the rest of the books and everything. This isn't the biggest Barnes & Noble. I'm hoping we're going to find a larger one today. But they only had really 2 rows of Criterions. They had other movies in there as well, but obviously nothing I felt like picking up. Next one I picked up is Throne of Blood by Akira Kurosawa. This is my first Kurosawa movie in the collection, and this is an adaptation of Macbeth, and it's done in a Japanese feudal society. So I'm really excited to watch this. Macbeth is my favorite Shakespeare play. We read it my senior year of high school, and that was probably one of my favorite things that we read in the entire English classes, my 4 years of English in high school. So I'm really excited to see what he does with this. I forgot to tell you spine number and everything. Brazil was released in 1985 originally, and it's spine number 51. And then Throne of Blood is from 1957, spine number 190. So excited to add that to the collection. Next one that I picked up here is Bamboozled, Spike Lee film. Another Spike Lee to add to the collection. I'm a big fan of Spike Lee. This movie, from what I hear, is very intense in terms of its subject matter, and you'll notice the cover. I mean, it's I think it's like a drama comedy, but it pokes fun and really brings attention to how blackface used to be used in film and how that was used to really hurt people and create these negative stereotypes of African Americans, and how it really had a toll on, on the people, So I'm really excited for this. I figure it'll be kind of an intense watch, but it is from 2000 and it's spine number 1019. I have Spike Lee's Do the Right Thing, which is also in the Criterion collection. I have that one already. And then this was kind of the biggest purchase for now. I picked up the Che box set. So this is, again, to my knowledge, I've never seen it, but this is a 2-part documentary on Che Guevara, who helped lead the Cuban Revolution in the 1950s, along with Fidel Castro. And, obviously the guy has a mixed record. Not necessarily a historical hero, but I think there's more to him. Like, he's not the villain that a lot of people tend to make him out to be. I really shouldn't be talking about that because I don't know a whole lot about Che Guevara, other than that he helped lead the Cuban Revolution. So anyway, I'm going to shut up before I offend somebody. But picked up this box set. Again, it retails for $50. Got it for $25. It's a great time to pick up any Criterion box sets with everything being 50% off. This is spine number 496, I believe that is. And it is from 2008, and it is directed by Steven Soderbergh, which I actually didn't realize before I picked this up. So that should be really good. Big fan of Steven Soderbergh. So you see the 2 Blu-ray cases there. So yeah, that is the Criterion pickups from Barnes & Noble location number 1. We will be heading to the second Barnes & Noble location in just a minute. Okay, Barnes & Noble location number 2, and this looks like a much bigger one. It looks like it has an upstairs. I'm hoping that it does. So we're in a much more urban part of town here, much closer to Indianapolis itself. So I'm hoping that this will have a good selection of Criterions. So let's head in, check it out. Okay, so I didn't get any footage in that store because it was kind of awkward. They had like a big camera screen, and I didn't want to be pulling out my phone and looking weird for the cameras. So their selection was not much better. In fact, I think it was worse than the first one, which I was surprised. It's a bigger store, but again, selection wasn't great. There was one section of Criterions. I did pick up a couple that I'll go ahead and show you. But like I said, I was kind of disappointed with the selection. It looked like it had kind of been picked through a little bit, which makes sense because the sale's been going on for a while now. But let me show you the 2 titles I picked up, and then we'll talk about what we're doing next. So first thing I picked up here is Bowling for Columbine, which is a Michael Moore documentary. I own this on DVD, but obviously if it's getting the Criterion treatment, I want to check out the Criterion version. Tons of special features on here, including a whole other documentary on this one. So not only do you get the documentary itself, and then you get another documentary about Michael Moore on here as well. This one, did this win him, I think, an Oscar? for Best Documentary Feature, something like that. This was an award-winning movie. It's fantastic. It's probably his best documentary, in my opinion. There's a look at the back. This is from 2002, spine number 928. So I picked that one up. And then this one wasn't even on my radar, but there's a specific reason why I picked it up, other than the fact that it looked cool. This is Hedwig and the Angry Inch, which is a musical. And it's got a lot of, you might even be able to see her t-shirt there, punk rock. It's got a lot of punk rock in it. And I love punk rock. One of my favorite bands of all time is NoFX. And Fat Mike, the lead singer of NoFX, said that the soundtrack to this is actually one of his top 5 favorite albums of like all time. And I keep meaning to listen to the soundtrack. I never got around to it. I didn't even realize that Criterion put this out. So I jumped on this. It's got a digipack packaging. Very cool, very colorful as well. The synopsis just immediately drew me in as well. It's about a transgender woman who's grew up in East Berlin. So you've got punk rock, you've got LGBTQ, you've got the Cold War in here, I'm assuming. Crazy movie. I'm really excited to dive into this one. This is from 2001, and this is spine number 982. So Hedwig and the Angry Inch, very cool pickup from the sale here. And I do want to go to one more location. There's actually, I think, 5 Barnes & Nobles in the Indianapolis area. I'm not going to all 5. I'm sorry. But we're going to make it to 3 locations in this video. There's one more that's not too far away from here. Fingers crossed they have a better selection, and I can pick up. There's 2 titles that I really want to pick up that I haven't seen yet today. Well, I did see one, but it was on DVD. And so I really want to pick up The Great Dictator, Charlie Chaplin. I love that movie. I show part of that movie to my students every year on the first day of school. I think it's a great introduction to history class. And I really want that one. And then sticking along the same lines, I want to pick up Terrence Malick's movie, The New World. I've been looking for a copy of that as well. So I'm hoping that they have those in the next Barnes & Noble. If not, I may order those online. We'll just have to wait and see. So on to location number 3. Surely there's more than just this. Found the actual section. Let's see. One copy of each. Nice. Alright, location number 3 was by far the best Barnes & Noble that I was able to hit up today. Not only do they have the 2 copies, or the 2 movies that I was looking for, they had 1 copy of each. I picked up The New World, Terrence Malick. Really excited for this. This is a historical event and historical era that is really not explored too much on film, and I'm really excited to dive into this. I've heard that it's a pretty realistic and brutal take on what Europeans actually did to Native Americans, you know, as opposed to the Disney version of Pocahontas and that kind of thing. So I'm really excited to get into this. This is a special edition. It retails for $50. I got it for $25, of course. It's a nice thick digipack packaging, so I really wanted to add this one to the collection during the sale this year. And then, of course, I picked up The Great Dictator, my first Chaplin movie in the Criterion, or in my Criterion collection. It's actually my first Chaplin movie in my entire physical media collection. So, and it may be the only Chaplin movie I've ever seen. So it is one of the only movies where he actually speaks. There's dialogue in the movie. And this movie I really wanted because, again, I think it's a movie that everybody should watch. Obviously, I'm a history buff, and Chaplin really went after Hitler in a time where the Holocaust had barely started. So people really didn't know worldwide just how evil Hitler was. But Chaplin, to his credit, recognized the evils of fascism really before the rest of the world did. And so huge props for that. And it's a funny movie. It's a great satire. So I love this one. By the way, The New World, here it was released in 2005, and it is spine number 826. Great Dictator was released in 1940, spine number 565. So finally added that one to the collection. But I went a little crazy, as I always do. Like I said, by far the best Barnes & Noble I went to. The guy in there checked me out, really cool. Talked a little bit about films, about David Cronenberg, which is my next one. I picked up Scanners. This was actually at the top of my list for this sale this year. There was a copy of this in the last Barnes & Noble, but it was kind of beat up a little bit, so I went ahead and went with this one. This is in perfect condition. Great digipack artwork. Spine number 712, released in 1981. I want to get all of Cronenberg's movies that are in the Criterion collection, and I think I've got, this may complete actually the Cronenberg movies. I may be one short. Yeah, I'm one short. Naked Lunch, I think, is the one that I'm missing. So I need to get that one. And then I picked up this one, Y Tu Mama Tambien. This is by Alfonso Cuarón, who is one of my favorite filmmakers, and I haven't seen this one yet. This was actually in my bag in the November sale, and I, removed it because I had to whittle down my my selections for last year's sale. But I finally picked this one up. Excited to check this out. This is like a road trip movie. I've heard it's kind of funny. It's very sexual. So if you're not into that sort of thing, definitely don't watch this one. But this is from 2001, spine number 723. Another nice digipack edition. Pretty thick digipack. Next one I picked up here is the Rolling Thunder Review Bob Dylan documentary by Martin Scorsese. I saw this on Netflix when it came out. I enjoyed it. I like Bob Dylan, and obviously I like Martin Scorsese, so perfect combination. This one was very hard to find in the November sale. They sold out very quickly because it's a pretty recent release, and a lot of people have been collecting Criterion for years, of course. They don't need to do all this catching up that I'm doing, and they usually focus on the recent releases. So the recent releases tend to go out of print pretty quickly with these Barnes & Noble, or not out of print, but out of stock pretty quickly with these sales. This is from 2019, spine number 1062, the Rolling Thunder Review. This one I picked up. I don't really know a whole lot about it, but I've heard good things. Lots of people are picking this one up. The Ice Storm by Ang Lee. This one I bought mainly because it seems like a mood movie. It's obviously about an ice storm, and it seems like the perfect movie to kind of watch during the winter time. So I probably won't be watching this one for a while because I'm kind of going to save it until the winter. And these sales, you don't really buy much in between the sales, so I'm stocking up now when I can get them for $20 and saving them for later. So the Ice Storm by Ang Lee, released in 1997, spine number 426. And the last one that I picked up, probably the last one that I'm going to pick up for the month, we'll see, but I've kind of already, shot my wallet. This is the Kennedy Films of Robert Drew and Associates. Huge fan of the Kennedys, and JFK is one of my favorite presidents, top 5, definitely, maybe even top 3. And so I'm really interested in checking this out. Never seen this, but it's a collection of documentary footage. There's one from the 1960 primary, which is 53 minutes long. There's one from 1961 when he first became president. It's 52 minutes. There's one about the Cuban Missile Crisis from 1963, which is 52 minutes. And then there is a 1 year anniversary of his assassination. There's a short film about that as well on here. So 4 documentary films here in the one packaging. So I'm excited to finally have this. This was one of them that was actually on my wish list for this sale. Okay, my wallet hates me. I spent way too much money here on Criterions, but it's, you know, these sales, they only happen a few times a year. You kind of gotta go all out, and Criterion has definitely become my favorite Blu-ray label. I still love the others. I still love Scream Factory, but Criterion has kind of become the GOAT to me. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it was a little bit long, but had a nice time going out hunting at all these different Barnes & Noble locations. So if you enjoyed the video, definitely leave me a like. I may do an updated Criterion collection, like my entire collection video, sometime in the near future, just to kind of show you everything. If you go back and watch my other Criterion videos, which I'm going to make a playlist for, then you'll be able to see every title that I have. But in case people want like one condensed video, I may make that in the near future, and maybe give you guys some recommendations, because the month of July is far from over. It may be over for me in terms of spending money, but you guys still have plenty of time to go to your Barnes & Nobles and pick up some Criterions. The sale doesn't end until August 2nd, so definitely get out there if you're interested in picking out any Criterion Collection Blu-rays. All right, hope you all have an amazing week. See you later.